There's Scrappy. So how many people other than the old guy has he bitten?
He hasn't bitten anyone.
That's it? That was it?
He's
Yeah,
gotten
just
good.
mailman.
Can you hand me the leash?
But
Well, the mailman, who doesn't want to kill the
I was
mailman?
like, you would bite the mailman.
Hey, Scrappy.
He would just attack the mailman's shoes.
yeah.
That's because he has stinky socks. And dogs love things that smell bad. Hey, Scrappy. Good boy. He's a really smart little terrier guy. Good boy. So one thing that people don't understand is that, here, try a lamb chip. They're not as good, but they're pretty good. Is that you can bond really well with a dog without ever touching them.
Yeah.
You can just hang out with them and give them gifts and never pet them for like a week, and then they'll let you know that they're like, I'm ready, and they'll sit next to you or against you, or they'll beg to be petted, right? Mm-hmm. So the worst thing for anybody to do would be to show up and try to touch him or do anything.
Right.
And believe it or not, the easiest command to teach a dog is come. So here are the rules, and you're going to see it on the video because I tell everybody the same thing. The rules of calling the dog to come is, first of all, I heard you over there. You don't have to say his name. In modern dog training, less is more. He knows his name. Plus, you want to use his name in an informal context, which is going to be like 23 hours and 50 minutes a day, right? Hey, Scrappy, hey, buddy, how you doing? Come here and sit with us. Or, hey, Scrappy, you want a treat or whatever. But when it's work, when it's serious business, come. Good. So the word is connected to the action. By the way, just in case you're wondering, you never practice without a leash, because only dogs that go off leash are dogs that are highly trained. And so if you're trying to teach a dog something, you always go get the leash and hook him up and then do it, so you're assured of success, because we're after this unbroken pattern of the next 500 times, which you guys could do in 2 weeks. There's 2 of you. Next 500 times you call him to come, all he knows is that he came. He doesn't remember doing anything else. Remember I said how they remember how it ended last time and last week and 2 weeks ago? So it's the same way every time. And also what I'm doing is I'm calling him away from a distraction, like what happened with the guy. If you would have had this then, it never would have happened, because he would have been, oh, who's that guy? He would have said, come. Called him away from the old man. Good boy.
So you're throwing food over there.
I just created a distraction.
That's a distraction, and then you're calling.
If he doesn't look at something, you have to create a distraction. Now he's looking away. Come. Good. So when you back away from the dog, it draws them to you. If you stand still, it's not really that good. And if you move towards them, most of them will run away, right? So dog training is a lot of body language in there that makes a difference between mediocre and good. What you'll see after a while is that he won't stop staring at you, which means that he's starting to perceive you more as like, hey, what are we going to do next? As somebody that tells him what to do, and it's fun. He's already having fun now, as opposed to a possession to guard, which is what he was doing with you. And when you tighten up that leash, it creates aggression plus staring. Those are the 2 things that cause leash aggression on the street: staring and a tight leash. So you solve both of them with the come command, and you just practice. Like this lady's coming here. He looks at that lady, you say, come. You just practice calling him away, and maybe up your walkway like this. Good. You see how I'm using a target, my target hand, which is closed? Everything that I'm doing, and more things that I'll show you as we go along, it's geared to off leash. He doesn't know this is empty when he has no leash. So he's going to look at her. Come. Oh, he's peeing. See how I still didn't repeat it? Good. He comes to the closed hand. His nose touches it. It opens. I say good. You connect the word to the reward. Timing is very important too, because if I just said good and then I fumble for the treat and give it to him, or I give him the treat first and then I say good, I've blown it. You want to connect the treat with the word at the very moment, so later on you say good and there's no treat, he almost thinks he got it anyway. In a few weeks, that's the way it always is. He doesn't know why he wants to come to this. Look, already it's empty. If he's off leash, or if I ran out of treats, Just sell it, man, like you're a salesman. Come. He doesn't know it's empty. That's why you call him to a close target. Good boy. If I felt comfortable petting him, I would. He's still as happy he came to you. Just make sure that, it takes a while to phase food out completely, but make sure that if you miss a couple of recalls with no treat, that you make sure you make it up with a couple with a treat. I usually phase out food in 3 to 5 weeks, because once they know it and they love to do it, and you teach them in a way that they love to do it, like you can tell he's kind of liking this in a way. You phase the treats out as soon as he gets good at it, and the training gets better.
Favorite food.
What?
Favorite food.
Okay. So, and he doesn't seem to be, if he's ignoring somebody that's walking past me, I'm paying him for that attention.
Right.
That's not even training, that's just developing this mindset where he's about to look back at me. Hey, psst. Come. None of that worked, so I'm going to call him to me. But if he looked at me again, pay him. Pay him every time he notices something or somebody and he turns back to you. Good. You want him staring at you all the time. All roads lead back to you. So instead of pulling towards somebody and being nervous and wanting to chase them away maybe from you because you're his source of love and food, and he's decided his job is to guard you because he's bored because nobody's telling him what to do. Instead of that, he sees somebody, it means, oh, my new job to do. Hey mom, there's somebody, pay me, give me love, give me a treat, tell me I'm good. You give him a new job to do, an appropriate job to do. Turn your back on the distraction, move away from it towards you, get praise, maybe get a treat. So this is a really great place to practice Great Street because it's straight. You can see people coming from 50 yards away. There's really not much of a way to get surprised. So you notice how I'm keeping the leash loose. That's a really cool retractable leash. It looks really like it's high tech and all that, but it's the worst thing for training because you can't control it. Right. It's so hard to control, and you have to make sure it's locked. And then if you call them to come to you, you have all this excess stuff that's, it doesn't, and when it's not locked, it's going in and out, and there's constant tension, right? Which is bad for on the street because that causes aggression, even slight tension. Notice this whole time, loose. If I want him to do something, it's tap. If I want him to come to me, it's tap and back away. Good. First, it's really funny. For some reason, if you always have a tight leash, if you're always controlling, or you have something contraption like that, the dogs are more likely to see you or perceive you as irrelevant or a possession to guard. But if you're communicating through taps and releases and your body, they think of you as the boss. So anytime I go, oh, come, I can get them away from anybody. And you guys obviously are young, you work out, easy for you to do, It's a dominant move, but it's gentle. It's a gentle dominant move. It's a move that attracts him to you. And when you're not choking up and forcing him to stay next to you or pulling him away, and you're communicating through a tap and release, look at that. Good boy, Scrappy. Hey, look. Good, it's cheese. You're basically like, hello. Hello. When he turns around to look at you and he sees you backing away, he's going to come your way every time. And the leash is always loose. There's really no strength to it at all. It's really more about a little bit of just kind of leash handling etiquette 101 and a little bit of finesse. So here's the other move, and I don't know how he's going to deal with this, but we always turn into the dog because when we're literally hurting the dog, it makes the dog feel like think that we're dominant. So in modern dog training, for some reason, people train on the left. You can do it on either side, but most people do it on the left, so I'm going to do that. When you're walking him, you always turn into him, even if I'm going to make a right turn. Okay, let's go. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Good boy. Sit. If I'm going to reward him, we're just throwing all this stuff at you because you can watch the video, right? Hey, buddy. Good. when you reward him in a sit, make sure he's looking straight up at you. It's very subtle, but it's very powerful. Eye contact. If he's not, lure him like that, straight down. He's looking in my eyes now. Good. I say good as he gets a treat and he's looking in my eyes. Very powerful. Most people do this. And the dog waits for the giant hand to come out of the sky, somehow attached to their valet, you. And it's not, you're not important. So, devil's in the details with this stuff. And see, he got up before I released him because it was my fault. Good. Go. I've never repeated a command, not once here. Even when he was peeing, I waited till he finished. I reinforced that come from 10 seconds before. The pattern is he hears it once, he always comes to you, something good happens. So the hardest thing for people to do is to stop talking. We don't even say stay anymore because we teach the dog sit and down. Stay is built in. So now in modern dog training, we're teaching them to wait till we come back and release them. They're waiting for the release command. So all the stay and the hand signals, those are gone now. So less is more. You get a higher level of focus when you talk less, and you're very clear. In the beginning, you only use a leash. And if you're having problems with the come command, for example, I'm going to wait till he looks away from me. Watch what I'm doing with the leash. I'm going to give him a little distraction there. Come, see that? Good. Simultaneously, the come with the tap. And you're probably going to have to really watch yourself so that you're not doing this, because almost everybody does that, and that's what triggers his anxiety and ratchets him up much higher, and then he sees a distraction out here, and then of course you have to pull more and it's too late. So maybe next time I come here I can show you how to bring him out now that he's getting to know me, and we would start the next one just a few minutes out here, and then I'll be able to come inside with you and show you how to start the walk, because the walk starts on the inside of your front door. Boundary training is super important. He waits at every boundary, but it's not just about waiting, it's about how you do it that matters. That's all on the YouTube channel. So all that stuff is on there. You can just watch anyone that pops up. There's several new ones going up, I think, in the next couple of days, but I think there's almost 2,000 videos. Okay. It's like 10 years worth of this stuff. But he's a great dog. And there aren't any huge problems. It's just misunderstanding. And you haven't really had any help, so it's not your fault. You need to know all these things. But basically, 65-70% of this is stop doing things you're doing. And that's the hardest thing for people to do. Oh, here comes somebody on a bike, maybe. See how he's looking at that guy? Come. Good. He's already, before I could call him to come, we even missed it. As soon as he saw the guy, he turned back to me, and I missed my cue to pay him. But that's what you want to do.
So even if he's looking at the guy but then turns to look at you, that's a pay.
Especially when he does, because so it's an involuntary reaction to, oh, notice something, right? To hear a sound or see something out of the corner of our eye. But it's a choice to decide to look back to us.
Right.
Hey, good, pay him, because that pattern's already getting in there where, oh, whenever I'm distracted, I look back at him and he pays me for looking away from that. Takes all the energy away from the whole world. You become the center of the universe. And we're also, come. Look, right here, buddy. Good. We're paying him with food and saying good, but even when we don't have food, he'll do it because we're also petting. When I can pet him, I would pet him. You guys can pet him. Treat, good, pet, all at the same time. And when the treat's not there, he'll still be happy with it. So as you phase the food out, like in For him, maybe it's going to be 4 or 5 weeks if you were to do this every day. You still give him a treat once a day for at least one time a day to keep him primed up. And a dog that is mixed up like this and has had some issues, this stuff should be kept up for a couple of months, a few months. Definitely passed on to the next owner, because they don't just change. They're not machines. We don't just fix them, right? And so unfortunately, whatever behaviors are learned first are always learned best and are more ingrained. And so when we're trying to get rid of unwanted behaviors, if you read a book about it, it would tell you that it would take thousands of repetitions to undo that unwanted behavior and replace it with the one you want. But it doesn't mean that you don't start seeing a difference right away. You'll see, oh, he's way better, and he came half the times that we were out there, he came right to me, and he used to never do that.